Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome to another live stream. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you subscribe. All of that good stuff. Day, what is it? 33, 34 of the transfer window. Not really sure right now, but one thing we can tell you is Chelsea have done absolutely nothing. But we're going to be going for the latest transfer news. There's been some links, and surprise, surprise, a couple more teenagers could be joining us on the books. Who would have guessed that one? Disassi doesn't want to join Spurs. Chelsea don't want to let him join Villa. We're going to dive into that. Joao Felix, we've put a £60 million price tag on him. And, of course, there's the latest with Enquiry as well, with some reports saying that he could be one to watch with Man United tomorrow, but I'm not too sure that's likely at this late stage. Lewis, great to have you, bro. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, man. Good to be back. Good to be back. It's been a while since we've linked up like a little 1v1 stream, but yeah. It's good to be back, man. We've had a great weekend of hate watches. Literally every single team around us has lost. Now, can we try not to copy them, please?
Mate,
that would be ideal.
We've had an unbelievable weekend without kicking a ball, but then we've got to go try and do something tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. Like everything possible has gone right for us. But yeah, it's Graham Potter coming back. It's West Ham. We're 1 win in 7. We just can't afford to mess any of this up. We've got another brilliant opportunity. Like, we keep getting handed opportunities. Realistically, we shouldn't even be anywhere near the top 4 of our current form, but somehow I'll win tomorrow and we get back in there. But we'll get into the West Ham game later on. Let's start with transfer news. Before we get into it, bro, what have you made of the window so far? Are you feeling the same as other Chelsea fans? Frustrated? Think it's disappointing, embarrassing? What are your thoughts on it?
I've become so anti ownership and sporting directors just based off these last 2 windows alone, because we had something we could seriously build on off the team that finished 6th last season. That team, I always said, should have finished 4th, should have won the Carabao. I understand that we got rid of the manager because we failed our targets. Now you're here lying to us and telling us top 4 isn't a target. You're all liars. And when we get into news, are you bringing the Fabrizio Disassi tweet up?
Yeah, I'll bring it up, bro. I'll bring it up, yeah.
I'll save all of that for then, because we'll touch on to that. But in terms of windows as a whole, you had the opportunity to build on that squad. We've wasted 250 million. We're trying to get rid of half of the players that we brought in. And now this season, this window where it's so obvious what we need to do, we're not doing it. Not a single genuine link for a striker. We've got so desperate. We're now acting like Matthias Tell is like Osimhen. He ain't even near that level, but we're so malnourished that we're that desperate for him. And the best part of this window is that we don't look like we're getting Garnacho. Yeah. You have lowered the expectations of our transfer activity that much. So if we don't get top 4, sporting directors, owners, looking directly at you. And that's before I get started on the backstage politics as to why Robert Sanchez gets treated like prime Petr Cech. But I'm sure we're going to get into that as well. Yeah. But what an embarrassment of the last 2 windows it's been. Sabotage. Straight sabotage.
Mate, I got to the point where the last couple of days where there was one link to Evan Ferguson, and I got to the point where I was thinking, we need this. Like, I was actively calling for Evan Ferguson on a 6-month loan deal, because that's better because it's better than nothing. Because it's better than nothing. Like, we can't afford to continue with what we've got.
We could be bringing back Broja, which means that we have the same attack options as last season.
But he's injured anyway. That's the only reason he come back, because he's out for 10 weeks with an ankle injury.
You're getting the same thing.
We're getting this. Well, exactly. So the squad is pretty much similar to what it was that finished last season, and we've invested additional money. But let's get into the news, bro. We both know that we're light in midfield. Everyone's been calling out for. Let me just zoom in on this. Everyone's been calling out for either Santos or Ugachukwu to be recalled. We're running Caicedo and Enzo into the ground. Dewsbury Hall's not trusted. We've sold off Cassidy. We don't want to use Chukwuemeka. And then,
oh no, do you not see the latest article about how much we rate him?
Oh yeah. We trust him for the future. Apparently, we trust him for the future, but we trust him so much.
You actively tried to get rid of him for the last year. You wafflers.
We trust him for the future, and he's not played a single minute in the Premier League this season. Yeah, of course. I shouldn't really be surprised at this.
Conference League.
No, he started one game. The only game he started was Astana, because there was about 15 players on the plane. That's it.
They think we're so stupid.
They honestly think we're. I mean, I don't know if I feel stupid for believing that these directors would target anyone other than teenagers. I definitely was.
No, because like that's what it should have been. Like you have the youth base. I have no problems with that. You have a bunch of like long-term players for the club. Now add the experience in the areas that we still need it. No. What do we do? Like I don't know what to do in it, so I'm just gonna go back to my old academy and see what they have.
But do you know where I'm out on this, right? Where this for me is where I'm losing a lot of faith. We were both at City last weekend. That was that week. That for me was when a lot of fans started to lose faith with what we're trying to do. This further like leads into that sort of trail of thought, because we've got no midfield depth, right? And you're thinking, okay, we tried to get Douglas Luiz on loan earlier in the window, didn't happen. But then you're scrambling around on the last 48 hours of the window to sign a midfielder on loan when you've already got two that you could recall. And then you get news that you're targeting another two teenagers who are, when you've got Chukwuemeka, you've got Sam Raksaki, you've got Keanu Dyer as well. Like you've got three, if you want young midfielders, you've got three of them on the books already. Why on earth are we targeting O'Reilly, who he doesn't even play for City that much? It's like we've got some sort of weird fetish with the City Academy. We've got Maresca, we've got Joe Shields, we've got Tosin, we've got Sancho, we've got Cole Palmer, we've got Lavia. If I wanted to watch the City Academy, I would go and watch the City Academy. I don't need to see the City Academy recreated at Chelsea. Mate, what are your thoughts on lack of midfield depth, refusal to address it, and then this being a possible solution?
We're looking for opportunities. That's what we have to understand. We're looking for opportunities. We spent all window looking for an opportunity, and
here it is.
What do? We just go right back to what our sporting directors know before. Man, are wafflers, straight wafflers. Like I've always wondered why this keeps happening, but like it kind of makes sense when you think of PSR. You know how every like academy player's pure profit on the books and all of that. So unless you're generational, you're never going to keep them. So they end up being someone else's treasure because they're trash to you that you can just sell off for a profit. Our academy players, you'll sell off to someone else. They'll do bits over there. We've got our pure profit. They got a player for the future. Same thing for us in reverse with like Cole Palmer, for example. So, and I'm guessing that's what we think with Nico O'Reilly, but it's just like the same thing you're saying. Really? Another unproven midfielder? Another one that isn't even more defensively minded, which is what we kind of need more of. He's an attacking midfielder / a central midfielder. So he's going to be attacking minded. It's not really what we need. Like, just recall Leslie and call it a day, for goodness sakes. I accept the Santos situation. You can't take him out of Strasbourg. You lose all faith. Whatever. I'm selfish. They can't be selfish. Fine. Recall Leslie and stop wasting our damn time. Nico O'Reilly, he'll probably be a good talent or something. I ain't going to knock the kid, but saying what we need. What we need.
And if it's a loan deal, by the way, right, which it probably would be, because why would we sign another midfielder permanently when we've got like Lavia, Caicedo, Fernandes, and then we've got both Ugochukwu and Santos? We don't need to sign another teenage midfielder. So you'd presume it could possibly be a loan deal. And you're thinking, well, the guy's going to come on loan, right? He's going to be here for 4 months. He's not going to make a considerably better impact in 4 months than Sam Raksaki. Raksaki's the same age as him. Why would you not prioritize your own players of the same age? Why are you looking to go to someone else's academy and bring in another one who's going to make no difference compared to what you've already got? This is where I don't understand our thinking. But I think ultimately, mate, for me, this last 2 windows have been a shambles. And what it has shown is that our footballing decisions are not based on football. They're based on their profit first and the football secondary. So we're looking at players who, instead of thinking, how can they improve the team? They're looking at it, how can they make us a profit? And then how they improve the team secondary. And you're never going to build anything successful when you operate like that.
But even then, I'm thinking it's like, you could just use Raksaki more, develop him, and then flip him.
Yeah.
It'd be the same energy, and that's pure profit on the books. What's this guy going to do unless you think he's going to be worth 50 million more than what you bought him for at the time. Or like even maybe a 20 or a 30. And even then, it's like all these kids that you keep buying, they add up and they add up, and then we wonder why we can't get a striker. Put the money down for Delap. You man spent all window considering whether to put 60 million down on Garnacho, and you're going to tell me we don't have the money to try and lure in a Delap, or put in another 20 million and go activate Gyökeres's release clause or something.
There's money there to spend.
The way we move sometimes, it's again sabotage, because I do think we want to be successful, but we just don't go the right way about it. It's so stupid. You spent 1.4 bill. I get we sold like 600 mil.
Oh, we've invested. We've invested that money. We've invested 1.5 bill. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we still need all these areas in the squad.
Mate, do you remember in I think it was either this summer or last summer, remember the briefs that come out that the sporting directors were working like 17-hour days and they were working round the clock and they were doing this and they were doing that? I reckon
wanted sympathy.
Yeah, I reckon that. I reckon they'd be lucky if they've worked 17 hours this entire window. What the fuck are these guys? What have they been like? Genuinely, what have they been doing? I'm not saying that I know what goes on. I'm not saying that I would do any better. It's easy to say that, but genuinely, what have these guys been doing for the last 34, 35 days? Because I've got no idea. Because we've sold one player. We sold Cassidy, and it took them over a month to negotiate a £12 million sale. Then you're hearing that
Mecca's on his way to Dortmund too.
Yeah, but again, I think those offers have been rejected.
Loan deal, apparently.
Loan deal, yeah. They did a loan offer yesterday for him, but Chelsea are rejecting all offers with an option to buy in it because they obviously want to try and get the £40 million release clause. They don't want to do any loans with option to buy.
No one wants to go near that shit.
No one's going near that £40 million clause. But I mean, I just don't understand what we've been doing. Like, we're obviously lying about how much interest there are in these players. Because we're told there's loads of interest in a lot of these players, and yet only one's left. What's going on there? We're just lying about how many teams are interested. We're not only lying, we're also overpricing what our players are worth. We'll get on to Joao Felix later. Joao Felix worth £60 million. I'll be laughing. £70 million in Nkunku valuation. Like what are we?
Yeah, 65-70 for Nkunku is a straight joke with the lack of minutes that he's had, and also the performances that he drops.
Yeah,
where
mate, that one at City was an all-time low. Like the guy done nothing. I did feel a little bit sorry for him. It's not all his fault, but. I mean,
you gotta apply yourself.
I
feel sorry for you until you stop applying yourself. Then I can't be bothered for you.
Yeah, no, I hear it, bro. I hear it. But I mean, we'll get on to Disasi in a sec. Midfield, though, I'd be at this point now with about 27 hours left in the window. At this rate, I can't see anyone coming in personally, unless we do a last-minute recall for Leslie. If we do nothing and no midfielders come in, how worried are you about going into the rest of the season with a Lavia who can't stay fit and just Enzo and Caicedo? Because for me, this decision of not bringing anyone in, which it looks like it's going to happen, that's basically saying we don't want to finish top 4.
You see the Matt Law thing from his last pod where he's like, Chelsea believe Chalobah can be a good emergency DM option.
Yeah, bro.
Are you kidding me? The same Trevor Chalobah you've told me ain't good enough for this squad now has the versatility to be a Swiss Army knife that you said you wanted throughout the summer.
And he can now play in midfield, right? Because it didn't suit the system, couldn't play in the back line, but now he's an option in midfield 6 months later.
Yep. Here or Reece James, because yes, I want Reece James doing the box-to-box role. He won't last 20 minutes. That is ridiculous, man. So our options would be Lavia, Enzo, Caicedo.
And you've got Dewsbury Hall, who's not
Mecca and Cassidy's gone, so it'd be Dewsbury Hall.
And that's it. And Raksaki.
What midfields do we do in the Conference League then?
Well, exactly. You're looking at a Dewsbury. Well, you're going to have Enzo and Caicedo are in the Conference League squad, so you're basically going to have to play them in the Conference League as well.
Run them into the ground. I don't want them touching that until we get serious.
That's the reality for us at the moment. But
so just Dewsbury Hall and Raksaki is our midfield pivot. Ugh.
Well, it would have to be. There's no one else in there because Chukwuemeka's going to go.
This is the thing as well. We're also trying to like weaken our Conference League squad as we do this, and I'm now thinking, doing, yeah. I dare you fail to deliver me that trophy. I dare you. Like, leave everybody at the airport if that happens.
Yeah, but they can make their own way in from Poland today.
Don't even come back. Don't come back. Just find a club in Poland or whatever. I don't care.
Mate, just liquidate us if we don't win that. Just get rid of it.
Easiest opportunity to end this trophy drought.
No,
if you fumble that.
I hear it. Obviously, we're not going to get a 9 in either. What are your thoughts on that? Because for me, we go for the rest of the season with Jackson, who's been run into the ground, is in a bad form, and you've got Gia, who's 18 and not really ready, and you've got an Enquiry who's not a striker and doesn't really want to be here.
Or Felix, who can't even get the depth role there, when I think he's the best suited to be in our emergency 9. Definitely over Enquiry.
Yeah, no, bro, probably is. No striker. What are your thoughts? Because for me, again, similar to the midfield depth, the way we've acted this window is saying that we don't care about Champions League. Because I think really with the squad how it is now, I think we're going to struggle personally to finish top 4 now.
Yeah, like the run of games that we've had has really screwed us. Because you look at how everyone's falling around us. If we had just done our job, we'd be clear and we'd have the opportunity to gain another 3 points on people. Ultimately, I still think we can get top 4 even in spite of that. The number one decision that can be made to benefit us is just drop that dumb goalkeeper because he's just a constant howler waiting to happen. But Maresca's too pussy to go against what Ben Roberts and the sporting directors want, so here we are. But in terms of the striker situation, it's been an embarrassment. The fact that we ended the summer window, let alone this window, without a striker is embarrassing. We spent all summer going after Osimhen when we knew he wasn't lowering his wages. Tony was there. Enquires was there. Didn't really know too much about Delap. I do think we were quietly looking at him.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's only just come this season or not. Someone can correct me in the chat. But there's other options as well. Duran, another one.
Yeah.
Rodion, another one. Man failed the medical, but he's balling out at Porto.
Bro, we had 2 of them. We had Duran for 40 mil, right? But we decided not to because we were concerned about his attitude. And then Rodion.
Bullshit, by the way.
Yeah,
That's and
then Rodion. Everything was agreed, and then we made up some bullshit that he failed a medical, and then suddenly he goes to Porto, passes his medical, and they get him for 15 million less than we were going to pay. Mate, some shit was not adding up there. So we pulled the plug on Rodion to sign.
I think Felix we lied about the medical as well, to be honest.
Of course we did, because he passed his Porto medical like a week later. So it was bullshit. We were lying there.
We just wanted a bit of that. What was it called? What was the clause that we wanted? Image rights.
Image rights or some bullshit. Rights. Yeah. Yeah. And then Duran, we were concerned about his attitude. Well, he could have got him for 40 mil.
What Duran was these men wanted Gallagher going the other way. Gallagher didn't want to go, and we didn't have anybody else that we wanted to offer instead.
But why can't we just do a normal transfer? Like this is another issue for me, right? Is that every transfer we seem to do, why has someone else always got to come in the opposite way? We literally cannot just buy someone without trying to make someone else come the other way. It's mental. I don't get what we're doing, but I mean, there is money to spend. We know there's money to spend because we're hearing that these lot were going to spend 60 million on Garnacho. So there's money to spend. Yep. There's money there. So why are you not spending it? Are you really telling me, right? And people keep saying to me, "Oh, it's hard to sign players in January."
I fell for that briefing too, and then the Garnacho news dropped, and it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. But what I'm saying is, right? Are you really telling me if Delap's your guy, which a lot of reports are saying that Chelsea really like him, we're desperate for a 9? Are you telling me that if you put that 60 million you were going to spend on Garnacho potentially, you bid that for Delap, that Ipswich wouldn't accept it? Of course they would.
Exactly. And you know what? Send Mark Hugh the other way till the end of the season or something. Give them an option for another year too if they want it as well. Done.
Exactly. This is the point.
You might find a future club for him too, seeing as you like to do the develop and flip thing.
Yeah. But this is it. Like, this is my point. Like, when people say,
we might as well be the fucking sporting directors.
But this is my point though. When people say, "Oh, it's difficult to do business in January. Oh, it's hard. It's this and it's that." But that's such a loser mentality. City had gone out, got 3 deals done in January, operating like a proper club. Even Arsenal, I know they didn't get him, but they showed intent to try and get Ollie Watkins. Like, Man United are even doing stuff. Like, how are we doing nothing? Once again, we're not backing another manager. And, you know, the sporting directors, if we don't get top 4, will just blame the manager. And you're just going to go round and round in circles. But talking of another ridiculous scenario, that's the one, Axel Disasi. I think this is the tweet that you were going on about. Is this the one?
Yeah. Look at the last line. We have no intention to negotiate with Villa as UCL spot competitors.
Oh, well,
but what have you tried to force feed us the entire season? No, we don't have any targets. We don't have any targets.
The target,
man. We all knew what the targets were.
Top 4 next season
because we didn't get top 4. We haven't got a sponsor because we want the UCL level money that we'd get in the top 4. But you want to run this narrative that our aim isn't to get into the Champions League. You can't trick us. 3 years under Clearlake, and you think the target is not to get back in the top 4 after we finished 5 points off it last season with half a squad and the worst manager I've seen in my lifetime? Are you kidding me? You liars. You're all liars.
They actually, do you know what's mad, right? They actually think we're so stupid. But also what's worse as well than that is, not all fans, but there's some fans that believe all this shit as well. I don't know what's worse. The fact that they're lying to us and they think they expect us to believe it, or the fact there's actual fans that do believe it. But on this Disasi situation, I mean, fair play. I mean, no one really wants to go Spurs. What are your thoughts on it? Do you have a problem with the club blocking his move to Villa?
No, not really, because they don't have any defensive depth anyway, so I don't know why we'd help them in the first place. Like, the only deal I was willing to do with Villa personally is you take Joao Felix, I take Duran. If you want to do that, do that. Otherwise, we have no business to talk about personally. But in terms of him rejecting Spurs, I get it, because this move don't help anybody. I don't even know why Tottenham want it. These men play a suicidal high line, and you want Axel Disasi.
Man's got no recovery pace. No recovery pace.
So, like, for Chelsea, it doesn't raise his value. It just takes him off the books for 6 months, but lowers his value too, because he's just going to die out there. For Disasi, it lowers his stock even more. For Tottenham, it ain't going to improve them defensively. Like, it's a sign of how desperate Tottenham are, in my opinion. Because why would you want someone that is such a net negative for your style of play? It makes no sense. So I'm not surprised it's ended this way. If he went, I wouldn't hold it against him or care, because it's not going to impact me. It's not going to help them. He's just there to be there, innit? Maybe just play some more football. But it's a dumb move. Everyone involved in this is just stupid if it went through.
Yeah, I mean, look, he doesn't want to go Spurs. So I guess what we've got, a situation he's got here is, do I go to Spurs where I'll probably play a bit more, but I might not start every week? Or do I just stay at Chelsea for 6 months and not play very much and then try and get a move in the summer? Or do I force Chelsea's hand to try and make them accept the move to Villa? Because I look at it, right, and I think we've got what? We've got Colwell, Tosin, Chalobah, Achimpong, and you've obviously got Fofana and Badiashile. They're both injured now, but they might come back before the end of the season. So you've got 4 centre-backs already that are ahead of Disasi and 2 others that are not fit right now. Do you think it's beneficial to anyone if he ends up staying? Because for me, I don't see how that benefits anyone. Yeah, okay, we might be able to use him in a Conference League, possibly. But other than that, you're not increasing his value and you're not attracting any new suitors for an exit in the summer. So for me, I think we need to get him out somewhere. We just got to hope someone else comes in. But do you look at it like that? Do you think we benefit?
I'd just rather him be here, to be honest. Like, even just for the Conference League depth, that'd be so real. Because I don't see any other move that really benefits him unless it's like some proper defensive-minded team. And him being here isn't really a problem. Like, Disasi's good for the dressing room and all of that. He'll be decent for us in the Conference League. So I'm not fussed. I'd rather we just keep him till the end of the season, personally.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed either way. If he goes, he goes.
I hear it. He's not great. He don't suit us. So I get, like, just rather get rid of him. But, I need someone for the Conference League, innit? Like, Badiashile still ain't fit. God knows what's happened with Fofana and all of
Well,
that.
he's
He's
not
played
even
most
registered
of
in
the
the
games
squad
we've had
anyway.
in that tournament. What?
Yeah. Well, Fofana's not registered in the squad anyway. They were gonna they might add him. They might add him for this next phase, but if he's injured, they might not. So yeah, look.
And doing this means we can just have Achimpong play the right back. He can just stay centre.
Yeah, no, for sure, mate. I'm not fussed either way. Like if he goes out, great. If he doesn't, it's not a complete disaster. I'm not really that fussed. Sticking with Villa though, what are your thoughts on the whole Joao Felix thing? There's been strong links of the move away. No offers have actually really come in yet. Chelsea reportedly have set a £60 million valuation because they don't want to sell to a Champions League competitor. What are your thoughts on the Felix thing? Do you think he should go? I mean, I don't know if he will go. The clock's ticking now. It would seem unlikely. But are you surprised at how strong the links have been with a move away just 6 months after coming?
I just think it's his agent. Personally, I think his agent's just trying to whore him all around Europe. Now, whether Felix wants to leave or not, I'm not sure. Because from one side, I don't hear or see anything from Felix that says that to me. But on the other hand, like the agent isn't going to just do that by himself. He's going to do that with like the player saying, yeah, let's see what's around. Let's see what's about. If someone's willing to take us and like they can guarantee minutes, cool. Take it because it means I can play more football regularly. And he's already, he's traveled around Europe and all of that anyway. Yeah. So I could maybe see it. But ultimately, I don't want to get rid of him. I think he's good depth for us. Maresca never brings him off the bench quickly enough for my liking. And I keep saying, if you are going to play Nkunku, who you have told me 4 or 5 times is not a 9, and you're going to bring him on in the 9, what are you doing? Because if you're going to play someone who actually has some decent attributes for that position. Joao Felix is constantly like, get the ball, look for an angle, and I'm going to shoot. That is his game. Like, Nkunku doesn't get involved enough. And when you play Felix as the 10, who has that selfish mindset, you're already putting yourself at a disadvantage. Play Joao Felix as the 9 if Jackson's having a bad game. I refuse to believe he's going to offer me nothing in that role. He basically moves like a finisher. So just play him in that role. Why not? He likes dropping deep. He likes carrying the ball. Like, yeah, great. I see a bunch of attributes in it. Use it. Use it.
Mate, are you surprised
he's only doing Nkunku, who's a ghost in the 9?
Are you surprised he's only started 3 league games this season? Because, like, for me, like, 45 million quid, I'd expect him to start a few more. But then having said that, Palmer's going to play every game if he's fit. And then there probably are better options in the other attacking areas. But I would have thought if you spent that much money on a player, you'd probably use him a lot more. He started 3 games and he normally just comes on for the last 10 minutes. I'm not really sure what kind of impact we're expecting from him. But if he's going to stay, we have to use him more over the second half of the season.
I'm with you as well. I just bring him on a bit earlier if that's the case. I'm not surprised about him not starting just because, like, Maresca keeps saying that he sees, what's his name, Palmer as the 10 option, and he only sees Felix as a 10. But you don't see Nkunku as a 9 and you're willing to play him there. And you've spoken about how well Joao Felix and Cole Palmer work together. Why don't you try it more? Why don't you just do it? Because we don't do it enough. Even the Ipswich game where I thought we were very poor in the attacking third, like, Felix was still lively. Palmer made a ton of chances in the first half. We don't try it enough. Like, Jackson is just being made to play and keep playing and keep playing in spite of bad form.
Do you know what I'm surprised about, right? And I don't think it's going to happen because it's not happened for like 24 games in the league. But why do we not just try Palmer back on the right-hand side and play a Felix or Nkunku in the 10 behind Jackson and have Neto or Sancho on the left? Like, because Palmer played on the right last season and was a joke. Like, I'm not saying do it every week, but surely it's an alternative option to mix things up. Why is that just not even seemingly being considered? Because for me, that would just seem obvious. Shift Palmer to the right, put Nkunku or Felix in that 10 behind Jackson. Or you could even put Felix up front and you could have Nkunku behind him in the 10. Like, why do you think there's a reluctance from Maresca to just try anything different and everything's just like for like swaps? Like, surely, I don't even say start with it. Even if you have to swap it up like 20 minutes into the second half, but there doesn't seem to be any willingness to adapt or change anything.
I don't know. Like, maybe a guess would be, I'm not sure how good Palmer is defensively, and like you want your wingers to track back heavily and all of that. But that's the problem when you start out with the 3 out of possession, and like we've had games like Crystal Palace where we played with 4 at the back, and we've played with wide fullbacks. We had Cucurella on the wide right. We had Cucurella on the wide left, Gusto on the wide right. If you do that, you could accommodate having Palmer on the right-hand side. And that Palace game, that's one of our better performances over the last month. Like, that Palace game should have been a 3 or 4-0. We just put everything off target except our goal. 15 shots, 1 on target. But that was an idea that I thought was effective. I was coming out of that game thinking, well, we really should have won that. We just didn't take our chances enough. And that was what the problem was. But we haven't really tried that since. So I would like to see it. Because, like, Noni just ain't got the end product like that. And he is very inconsistent off the ball. Sometimes he'll do his job defensively. Sometimes he won't. Sancho, another one. Sometimes he'll do his job defensively. Sometimes he's just very lazy when it comes to coming back. But we haven't tried that since. And I think that's been what our bigger problem is. Try the back 4 again. I don't see how it wouldn't work. And like that would be how you can get the best out of Palmer and the best out of Gusto on that right-hand side. Then you could maybe play like Nkunku in the 10 or something.
No, I agree. Before we move on, guys, we're just going to give a quick shout out to the sponsors over at Stocks FC. Guys, if you haven't heard about Stocks FC, this is the place where you can buy and sell footballers like their stocks. So if you wanted to make some money, maybe you wouldn't buy Nicholas Jackson right now, given his barren streak in front of goal. But if you feel that you think someone's going to come into some decent form, maybe you think Nicholas Jackson's going to start getting back amongst the goals, then you can maybe demonstrate some of your ball knowledge and buy him and get ahead of the curve potentially. But guys, there's a QR code on screen. You can scan that as well as a link in the description. It's good fun. It's a great way of showcasing your football knowledge, and hopefully you can make yourself a few quid at the same time as well. Of course, please do let us know, guys, in the live chat, in the comments of any videos, whether you have done well, made any money. We would love to know. But that's Stocks FC. Big shout out to them. QR code on screen right now. You can scan, and a link in the description, guys. Lewis, you touched on Nkunku, mate. What are your thoughts on that current situation with him? It doesn't look like he's going to go. There was the Bayern Munich stuff. There's a £65 million price tag. It doesn't really look like he wants to be here. That performance against Man City, we touched on it earlier, he wasn't really applying himself. Do you think Nkunku could become an issue over the second half of the season? Or you think, it'll be all right. He won't, he won't make a fuss. He won't sort of make things difficult. How are you viewing the whole situation with him? I think we know that he's probably gone in the summer anyway.
I don't think he's going to make things difficult for us, but I do think he's just gone. Like, mentally checked out personally. And don't fit the way that we play. Don't really suit us in the 10. Don't really suit us up top. It's more just a matter of when you're just going to get this over and done with and just try. I don't know, because like you're valuing him at 65 million. Like, who's even going to pay that?
No one's paying it.
Profit on a guy who has failed here and also has injury issues. Like, good luck. Good luck. You're not getting that. You'll end up loaning him.
I mean, the price tag's ridiculous because we paid 52 million for him, right? And if we're being honest, he hasn't, unfortunately for us, he's not done anything to warrant an increase in price since he's been here. So how we're reaching a £65 valuation is beyond me. I think if we got our money back for him, that would be a very fair deal. Do you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair if we got our money back, or do you think actually he's worth more than that? Do you think think he's done well enough to have his value increase? Because for me, I don't think he has. He's been injured too much. He's not really playing. Yeah, okay, he scored a few goals here and there, Conference League, Cup competitions and whatnot. Do you think he's done enough to warrant a £65 million asking price? I think that's way too high. And I think £52 million to get our money back is fair.
Nah. No, like I'd like to believe it. But I think the only idea is that we're able to get 65 million for Havertz and 55 for Mount, so we feel like we can do the same thing with Nkunku. Okay, but I don't see it. I don't see any chance of us doing that.
Well, because the teams that are interested, right? Bayern Munich aren't going to pay 65 million, and Man United as well. Potential interest. They are never paying 65 million. They haven't even got 65 million pounds to spend. So
United are going to do the same thing we're doing and hopefully try to wait us out.
Yeah, no, they are. You look at that.
And Enquiry don't want to dry loan to United, so that's not going to happen either.
No, you look at the recruitment strategy, and United, I think, as you said, are going down a similar route to us. So it'll be interesting to see if they overtake us at a quicker rate than how we managed to get ourselves kind of back into the mix. Let me just get to this super chat first. Big up to Thomas. One thing on Carney, why can't we just use him? And also, what would the sporting director say if we asked them why buy Felix and now you're selling him? Well, I think on the Felix thing, first of all, we purely signed him to get rid of Gallagher. I think it's obvious.
No. It's an opportunity.
Opportunity, yes. Opportunity but opportunity that no one else in world football wanted to take.
Mm-hmm. And something about potential.
And something about potential as well. Yeah. I don't know why Carney's not being used. We did touch on him earlier. Apparently now he's going to have a medical in Dortmund tomorrow with an agreement very close. Why do you think Carney's not been used? I know he's been injured a lot, but not this season. There's a lot of talent there. Are you surprised how he's just kind of fallen out of favour and the seemingly Chelsea career done?
I don't even know if it's like a favour thing because apparently the manager never wanted him anyway.
What, Chukwuemeka?
Oh, sorry, I thought this was still Felix. Chukwuemeka's been out of favour.
He's
all
them
injury, and also 100k a week.
Yeah,
that kind of plays a part too.
It's a bit mad that, but that's not a reason not to play him though.
No, but it's not a reason for us. It's a reason for them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's another political thing. It's too much politics around individuals at this club. Way too many.
No, mate. I hear it. I hear it. Do you think Dortmund would be a good move for him?
They're good with youth, but I don't know because with these dry loans, he has to hit the ground running. If he don't, you're dispensable. You won't be here in 6 months. I'm just not going to play you.
I mean, what they're hoping
you have to
is
do the Broya thing where like you have a clause in there where if you don't make a certain amount of appearances, you get this much billion out of him.
Yeah.
Although I say that Fulham still preferred to just give us the 4 million.
Yeah, so. they didn't care. I think with what we're looking for, obviously, is for him to do well for 6 months and then encourage someone to pay the £40 million release clause. But if there's no option to buy, or whatever in this loan, it's a dry loan. If things aren't going well, they've got no incentive to want to use him. They don't need to develop him for us, and then there's no chance of them to buy him at the end. So you do take a bit of a risk, but he's just got to get out and play football. So get him out playing football. Dortmund decent, good record with youth, be Champions League football as well. Let's see how he does. But I mean, last thing on transfers before we just finish off with a bit on the West Ham game tomorrow. 11 p.m. tomorrow night is the deadline. Bro, are you expecting anything to happen in terms of incomings? Yeah, a few might go out on loan or whatever. Are you expecting any incomings?
Nope. Maybe they might surprise us with Ugo Chukwu coming back, but then you screw over another team that we've loaned a player to, and they probably won't take one of our players again in future. Because what are they going to do then? Nah. I don't see it happening. I really don't see any transfer activity, and it's mad that I'm so annoyed with some of the names that we've been linked to that I just rather it end now anyway.
Yeah,
just rather it be over with, because like it just feels like what Garnacho. That's the answer that you had to our problems. Yeah, end the window, man. End the window, and if we don't get top 4. Like, get rid of these sporting directors immediately. Tar and feather them, all of that. 40 lashes. Get rid. Get rid.
Yeah.
How you spend this much money and we still can't make top 4, and you lie to us about the expectations of this squad. You're all jokes.
No,
utter jokes.
I absolutely agree. Do you know what's also mad as well, by the way? Why is the January window closing on the 3rd of February?
I don't know, but they gave us extra time and we still didn't do shit with
it. Now, I've never known Jan window to close on Feb 3rd, but yeah, 3 extra days and we still can't do anything. Let's move away from transfers. West Ham tomorrow. Graham Potter's back. The boys gave everything. Hopefully they do tomorrow. How are you feeling about this one? I mean, West Ham are like 15th in the table, but I mean, a few of their games recently under Potter, they have actually looked a bit better. How are you feeling about this one? Because despite the negativity around the transfer window, we touched on it earlier, all the results went in our favour this weekend, and we're still well in the race for the top 4. How are you feeling about this one tomorrow?
We still should be winning, in all honesty. Like I'm with you. Like Graham Potter's got better performances out of West Ham. The results haven't really changed. But they also they got serious injury problems to their front line. They got no Antonio, no Bowen, no Fulkrug. I think I'm missing somebody else as well. But like they've been doing like Paqueta up top, Kudus up top, making up as they go along, and the depth's just not been there. We got to capitalize on this. But, we're not going to feel comfortable until we're 2-0 up. We'll go 1-0 up, we'll celebrate, and then we'll just be, okay, can you get the second now? And I don't know whether we're going to. Nicholas Jackson's getting worse and worse by the week. Genuinely worse and worse. Even the fundamentals aren't there anymore. Like, that's the thing. He's been left out there to die.
Can any of us back Guiu starting in the league? I don't think we really can.
It just to see something different that isn't Nkunku in the 9. Like, if he was to get 30, 40 minutes or to start and he was garbage, fine. You know what? That's the only other striker that they gave you. You tried. He's 18. He's clearly not experienced. Fine, I won't write him off. It will say it was a bad game, whatever, we move. But you know what? I like that you tried something else. And we don't do that. The man gets 90 minutes regardless of how good or bad the performance is. And then when you take him off for Nkunku. Just to make it worse. So like I would have no problem. If I saw you starting, that wouldn't even be my biggest gripe. I'm just looking at the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper. I need you to be a man tomorrow, Maresca, and to stop being a bitch. Drop the goalkeeper. I don't care about the pressure that is on you. They are not sacking you for dropping the goalkeeper. They gave you a 5-year contract. Just get rid of him. You pick the lineup. Regardless of all like the stuff with Ben Roberts, all the stuff with the sporting directors and their favorites, you are the one that selects the 11. And I refuse to believe Jorgensen's going to play and then we're going to lose based off him and then it will vindicate the sporting directors. It won't. He's the worst. He's a keeper that's so bad that he's making Kepa look good.
Yeah, no, bro. I hear it. Last week was one mistake too many. I mean, it was more than one mistake too many. But do you know what the mad thing is? This is not even a difficult decision, but I'm fully expecting to see him in goal. Like that's the biggest issue with it, because for me, I'm fully expecting to see him in goal. I don't think Maresca's a lot of things. He's not an idiot. He knows this guy's not good enough. But and people can say, "Oh, you've got no evidence to support this." I think it's quite obvious that a manager does not continue to pick a goalkeeper making this many mistakes unless there's pressure from elsewhere in the football club. But if he starts tomorrow, which I think we both expect him to, what do you think the reception's going to be like for him? Because obviously he was booed at the City game last week after the mistakes. It's going to be very nervy when he's on the ball. He's going to be probably even more nervous because of the reaction that he got last week. What sort of reception do you expect him to get if he starts tomorrow?
I expect him to get a good reception. Like fans always get behind the team for the start. The thing is, one mistake, one bad pass, one dropped cross, one howler that goes into a goal or leads into a big chance, man are on him from the start. As from that one moment they're going to be on him. Whenever he gets the ball, you're going to hear blue shirt shouts and all of that shit. Or find a fucking Chelsea player or something like that. All it's going to take is one mistake. With Jorgensen, it won't be like that. You could have a howler moment, you know, people be like, okay, cool, it's just one mistake. It's calm. I'll calm down. Sanchez is on like millimeter level thin ice. Like the sort of ice that you wouldn't want to walk on. You wouldn't trust it because you'll fall through it. That's the ice that he's on. But he's still going to start. So, don't even matter. Don't even matter. I'm saying all this. I'm expecting Maresca to let me down and start him.
Yeah.
But,
Could you imagine?
I can't defend you. I can't defend you if you keep starting this guy.
If he starts him and he makes another mistake, there's no escaping it. There's no escaping it. Like, you have to take all the criticism. You can't come out with any nonsense anymore. Like, you just have to own up to it. So hopefully he doesn't, but I'm fully expecting Sanchez in goal. But I hope the manager doesn't let us down. In terms of
I'm already expecting to be let down.
I'm prepared to be let down, but I'm just holding hope that we might not be let down. In terms of other aspects of the team, we know Jackson's probably going to start. What wide player combination do you want to see start? Because we saw Madueke and Sancho start against City. Noni, after he scored, kind of stopped playing. I don't think he had a particularly good game. Sancho wasn't that great either. Neto came on and done okay-ish. Out of them three, what two do you want to see start?
Sancho still locks down the left for me. On the right, it won't happen, but I'll probably just put Palmer back there. I'll probably just put him back there. And then just do Joao Felix in the 10 and Jackson up top. I think that'll be the best thing. I like Neto, but I don't think we get him to his best capabilities without someone with aerial threat in the box.
Yeah.
So he might be a good option to bring off the bench. Yeah. I think that's what I would go for.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it. But yeah, look, again, it goes back to recruitment. We signed a winger who one of his best assets is putting balls into the box. We've got no one in the box to take advantage of his balls in there. It's just like I don't know sort of what the planning is. But I mean, win tomorrow, we're back in the top four. How are you expecting West Ham to approach this? I don't know if the Graham Potter side's going to sit back, is going to come out and have a go. They're going to make it difficult. I'm not really too sure what to expect. I mean, what are you expecting from West Ham?
Maybe to try play something progressive, but I just don't think they're going to have like the players to be able to really cause us issues in the final third. Defensively, I don't know. I'm always maintaining like Potter had a very good defensive system with us when he was here. It was the attackers that were the biggest issue. But he ain't got the same level of defenders there either. So like I expect they should probably give us a bit of trouble on the wings. I could maybe see that because Wan-Bissaka has been a big problem.
He looked good going forward. Against Villa last weekend. He looked decent.
Oh, all season, man. He's probably been their player of the season. But bar the wings, I don't really see anything of like significant threat for us. The midfield's had a week off, so they shouldn't be feeling leggy at all. Yeah, like I don't know. But like we really should have enough to beat them. It's just again, bury your chances. And then there won't be a problem.
Yeah, no, this is it. Like I mean, other than last week, in this run of 1 win in 7, I don't think we've actually played that badly, but it's followed a familiar pattern. We take the lead, we miss a load of chances, we stop playing, we make mistakes, and we lose. Like we can't somehow we got to do something to break the cycle. And hopefully against West Ham we can do something. But I mean, on Potter, by the way, what sort of reception do you reckon he'll get? For me, I don't see any reason for him not to get a bit of applause. I'm not saying everyone's going to go mad for him or anything, but I wouldn't expect anything negative. Would you?
I honestly don't think he's going to get a response.
No.
I don't think he's going to like make an occasion of it or anything. You're just going to see him walk out to the dugout and that's it. Like it'll be like one of them where like people just forget he's even managing unless we lose. Then everyone's going to remember that it was Graham Potter. But like, I don't think it'll be anything.
How bad do you think it will be if Potter comes back and he beats us?
Bro, were you there when we lost 2-0 to United in the FA Cup 18-19?
What was that with Mourinho in charge?
Nah, sorry.
No, I don't think I was.
Remember in the FA Cup, there was a fuck sorry ball chance and all of that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I was there, but yeah.
Okay, that is the most toxic home atmosphere I've ever been at. Like, it was insane, the level of toxicity. Fuck sorry ball chance. All the substitutes were getting the sarcastic applause because yep, he's gonna do Kovacic for Barkley again. Yep, there you are.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it was like Zappa Costa for Aspi when we were 2-0 down. And that became like the biggest highlight of the game. Zappa Costa at 2-0 down. What the hell is he going to do? That I think is going to be that level toxic in the ground. If Graham Potter comes here and gets a result, social media and at Stamford Bridge is probably going to be a different level of toxic.
No, we'd be finished. I
can't even argue it down. Like, that's 1 win in 8. That's terrible.
That's like relegation from that.
Yeah.
It is. It's. I mean, I can't quite believe that we're still as close to the top 4 as we are, given how little points we've picked up in the last 7 games. Like,
this is a testament of how well we've been in the first half of the season, which is why I can't be Maresca out either.
No.
I said Maresca's shown me enough in the first half of the season that I'm going to give him the second half of the season. My biggest problem with Poch was that he didn't hit the ground running. It was 5 points in 5 games. We were playing mid-table level form up until May. We haven't done that with Maresca. Right now, we're just on an awful run. This is just one little run over the whole season.
Yeah.
And for me, it'd be extremely reactionary for me to turn on the coach with that. So I wouldn't be in that position personally. But with the same breath, you start Robert Sanchez, and if he has any part to play in us not winning the game, I'm not saying a word positively anymore. I won't be manager out, but don't ask me to do Defense League. Don't ask me. Because while you start Sanchez week in and week out, I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying shit. You need to grow some balls and drop the goalkeeper. Drop the fucking goalkeeper. Because what message are you sending to the rest of the squad? It's okay to be a bum. You'll start next week. It's okay to be garbage. You'll start next week. Like the nerve of Maresca before the City game saying, it's okay, Caicedo misplaces passes every now and then.
It's totally
you compared Sanchez to our player of the season. Huh?
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad.
You joker. Noni and like Jackson, whatever. They're in bad form to go do it. Caicedo, nerve. The nerve. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's almost like making it all right that he's making these mistakes, trying to like justify it. It's just incredible. I even think for Jorgensen, right, as a sub keeper, if he's sitting there and he's watching Sanchez doing what he's doing week in, week out, making mistake after mistake, and he still can't get in the team, I'm going to be sitting there thinking, when am I ever getting in the team? If I can't get in the team now, there's never a better chance for me to get in the team. So what must he be thinking? Like, if I'm sitting there and I'm him, I'm fuming with what's going on right now. I should have been in 3 weeks ago. Like, I'm not saying that he's going to want to leave or anything like that, but he's got to be sitting there thinking, the manager's taking a piss here. Like,
yeah, he probably is. Because I know with Jorgensen from the start, he knew that he was going to be the number 2 option.
Yeah.
And even he was aware that he wasn't good against Morecambe in the second half. I don't think it was anything like really alarming, but the cross-claiming and stuff wasn't that good. If he's aware of that performance, he's aware of how bad Robert Sanchez is playing. So it's like, how is this the bar? And again, it goes back to the message that you're sending to the rest of the squad. If he can constantly fuck up and still be the first name on the team sheet, you're telling everybody that it's okay to be bad. It's okay to be bad. You'll be fine. You'll start next week. It's all good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's such a poor message.
Here we go for Chucky Mecca.
Yeah, done. Do you know what's mad, right? Chelsea said they're accepting no buy
option clause included for value higher than 40 million. Huh?
But then
have we got a buy option for over 40 mil?
Yeah, they're not going to take that, are they?
No, but like, it's not an obligation, is it?
No, it's not an obligation. It's just an option. Like, an option's kind of pointless. But surely, if they wanted to buy him, right, they could just activate the clause. So what's the point in having a buy option higher than the clause?
I don't know. They managed to pull a loan fee out of that. I'm sure that'll be good for the books. I think they're covering the full salary.
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. But why it's taken 33 days into the window to sort that is an interesting one. But that's a good deal. If he does well, they might pay the release clause. Someone else might pay the release clause. Why the buy clause is more than
you gotta hit that ground running though, otherwise he's just gonna rot on that bench too.
Yeah, no, he does. I mean, they just got a new manager in. That Sahin was sacked, and I think they got someone else in now. So, new manager. Let's see what he does. I mean, I don't know what Dortmund's midfield is saying, but you'd imagine there's going to be a lot of opportunity to play. Sancho's probably told him it's a good move to make. So yeah, let's see. It's a shame it's not worked out for him. Let's hope he does well. And yeah, I think it's. I say it's win-win. It's only win-win if he does well. If he doesn't do well, then it's going to be a problem for us. But mate, do you expect someone to buy him in the summer for 40 mil? Do you think we can get that 40 mil if he does well?
I mean, you got to define well. I think he's got to be one of their players of the season.
Yeah,
to get that. Because like I think they have financial problems. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but
yeah,
I don't think we're getting that anyway. I really don't. Like I'm just hoping he gets regular minutes. I'll be so real. Does he start weekly for them? If he's just like a more available option for them off the bench, you're not even getting that money in the summer. Let's not get it twisted. No, so ultimately, I don't think this changes anything. The more I think about it, I don't think it changes anything for him. You needed an obligation. You're not going to get it. It's just, you might break through. I hope you do. No, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's
important. And yes, time back. It's important for the future, isn't it?
Important for the future, but there's a buy option in there. But he's important for the future. Makes sense. What it means is important for the future. It means the future of the balance sheet, not of the football club.
Important for the future of my wallet.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So someone was asking, bro, I don't know if you've seen it. Vega had a decent debut today for Juventus. He played centre back, and he played pretty well. There's no buy option or anything in that loan deal. If I mean, this is obviously hypotheticals here, but if Vega does well for 6 months playing at centre back for Juventus, do you think Chelsea would look at him as a viable centre-back option next season on that left side, like behind as an alternative to Colwell at left centre-back, and you get rid of Badiashile or whatever? Or do you think, regardless, there's no chance of him succeeding at centre-back here?
No, I genuinely think there's a chance for him. It's like he needed to go on loan to do that, just because he would be seen bottom of the pecking order for that centre-back role, and he weren't going to get the minutes for that anyway. So, yeah. Like I think the right move for him is just it weakens us a bit. We've lost left back depth, we've lost midfield depth. It's another thing that weakens the Conference League squad because he was playing basically every game for that. But for him, for his career, and maybe for us as a centre back option, it might be something that's a bit necessary because like we do see the value in him. It's just the value in him as a versatile option. He might be a better centre back for us than Badiashile. He might. I don't know. I'm going to need a bit more time for that one, but Colwell don't move me in that position. I think he's got this starting role a bit too early. Badiashile, I've always kept a bit of stocks in Badiashile just because I was really moved by his 22-23 season. He was one of the standout players for us. But I haven't seen that player enough times. So I need to see what he's like when he's back from injury. He did have good games like the Leicester away match, for example, but not enough to go off. And Colwell's the starter, but like Colwell he's a good idea for a few years' time. I do think he needs to grow into his body.
He needs someone experienced alongside him.
Yes, exactly.
I haven't got a problem with Colwell starting games, but it's a problem when he's the most experienced player at centre back.
It's a problem when Fofana ain't there.
Yeah, and
we miss Fofana so much.
Man,
and it's a testament to him that he's that important to us in spite of all of these injuries.
And I had people earlier in the season trying to tell me that Tosin's better than Fofana after that West Ham game at London Stadium. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
All because Fofana was getting done at right back. He's not a right back. It's the same argument we have for Disasi every week.
Yeah, no, it was honestly mental. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. But last thing, bro, score prediction tomorrow night to round this out.
3-1.
I'm going to go 3-1. Fair.
We ain't keeping a clean sheet. Never.
No, we're not keeping a clean sheet. No chance. I'm going to go 2-1 win, back into the top 4 before the double header against Brighton in the cup and the league for the next 2 games. But yeah, guys, going to round it out here. Cheers for tuning in. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Lewis, big up as always, bro. Thanks for jumping on, guys. Alex will be back tomorrow morning, I think, doing a show on deadline day. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you again soon.